About half dozen of you guys just didn't get it. Just didn't get it. No, I wasn't mad. I got these DMs over the weekend from people that said they were mad that you pranked me on this Post Malone thing.
Oh, there's somebody that commented on the video, and she's upset too because she doesn't think pranks are funny.
Oh my God.
I got some of these. No, I thought it was hilarious. And the fact that I was the butt of it made me, A, feel so foolish, but also I found it so funny. Mm-hmm. It could have turned, though. It could have turned in one way. So let me just explain if you weren't listening last week. We'll play some audio for you here. Kristen and a bunch of people at the radio station played a prank on me. People that I used to trust quite a bit. So when they told me that Post Malone was coming in studio, I thought it was a really big deal. I mean, I had been fired up about it for 48 hours. So excited.
We were listening to Post Malone music nonstop from 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. last Thursday.
Yeah, if you didn't hear, we can't recap the whole thing for you because it took us 40 minutes to talk about it last time we were in here. But just know that at the end of this 20-minute interview,
20 minutes, y'all. 20
as
minutes.
we're playing beer pong with fake Post Malone, I have no idea that it's a lookalike until this happens at the very end where Kristen is getting us all together to take a picture for all the for Instagram and all the likes with Post Malone. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Post Malone.
Hey, it was awesome seeing
Let
you.
me get some photos. Is that okay? Cheese.
You're wrong.
All right, everybody look at Post Malone and say, April Fools!
Classic.
What's going on?
Oh, come on, man. I never even saw it.
There's a virtual
Yeah, you
listener,
swear.
Jimmy, that looks just like Post Malone.
Shut the All right, so there's so much to unpack, which we did a lot of this on Friday. But I'm not exactly sure how to present this with you in studio. But I thought the prank was Post Malone attaching a prosthetic to his arm to make it look like he didn't have a hand. Jimmy here doesn't have a hand. That's what I thought the prank was.
Oh, I know.
And in my mind, I am saying to myself, if we post this, he's going to get so much crap for this. So I didn't even realize that you still weren't Post Malone at that point.
I thought you realized, like, at that point, until she was like, "This is Jimmy," and then you were like, "Shut the F up," and I was like, "Oh, he just realized." He said April Fool's to himself.
And you can see it in my face if you're watching the video, like me get confused.
Yeah, you were like, "April Fool."
Yeah, but then I go in on it, and then I see your arm, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be... There's a million things going through my head, and as Mo and I tried to explain on Friday, like, there's just too much of a risk for me calling out that you're not Post Malone if you are Post Malone. I mean, it would be epic failure. So while there were little red flags, I just talked myself out of it.
And it's so fascinating when you look at it from like a human nature aspect. So it's so crazy what you will convince yourself of, what you will believe
Absolutely.
just because everybody else around you is selling it.
Truth.
And I think that's a little life lesson that we learned along the way. I'm not going to lie though, that when you looked at me and you go, so Post isn't coming today?
so disappointed.
I know, I felt bad.
I was so
I
disappointed.
felt a little bit bad. And then the comments on the video, y'all, there's one person that was like, bro, he looks nothing like Post Malone. Poor Bert was starstruck.
There are so many people that said that, man. So many people that said... Amanda even looked at it.
Yeah.
Cavante, who runs the board in there, he's like, I couldn't tell who that white guy was trying to be. I'm like, no, man, it's Post Malone. But our receptionist was really mad. I was walking out at like 10:15, 10:30, and she's like, well, now you know who your real friends are. And I didn't know what she was talking about either, but she saw you walk into the elevator and out, and she was still upset that nobody told her that Post Malone was in studio, and she saw him too.
They were saying that in the room over there, that the whole like sales side or everyone over there was mad. They were like, Post Malone was here and no one told us. They were bad.
Jimmy, I would love to get because we've gotten Bert's side of the story, my side of the story. I would love to hear your perspective of how all this rolled out and what you were thinking when you walked into our little beer pong area, and then you're like, are they or are they not going to believe I'm actually Post Malone?
And Claudia's wife is here also, and I'm holding you accountable as well.
It was a little awkward when I walked in at first. I was like, where do I go? Hey guys, what's going on? But once we started playing and I started answering questions, I felt like I turned into Post Malone. For a second there, I was like, I'm Post Malone.
You were gaslighting yourself into thinking you were the person you were portraying.
Exactly.
How much research did you do? Because every question that we threw at you, which was really like just introspective questions. Abby came to the table with a couple where you're like, that's a really good, you were like loaded, ready to go.
That was a little bit of a tactic to think whenever I said, that's a great question. That was to give myself a little bit of time to think.
Basically what he's saying is my questions weren't that good. They were just really hard. He's
I needed to stall.
I was like, I don't know how to answer this really stupid question she came up with.
I was joking with Abby.
They were good questions.
They were good questions.
Part of it was to think a little bit.
I was joking with Abby afterwards. I'm like, that's how I should have fully known it was a prank, because no celebrity has ever told her twice in the same interview. That's a good question. But you did your research, man. It was very good.
Whenever we got the email and got it set up, I honestly felt like I got hired for a role. I was like, this is like an acting gig, I'm just gonna go in there, be Post Malone.
Now, when we met back in November at Georgia State Retirement Planners, and I said I wanted to do this, from the moment I met you guys, because how often do you get people saying you look like Post Malone?
It happens probably once
All
a
the
day.
time.
If
Is
I'm
that right?
out
Yeah.
a good bit, people are like, kind of look like Post Malone.
Have you guys pulled that off or anything free yet? Yeah, it is, man. Give me that table.
That's the first time we've ever tried it.
Hey, and guess what? It worked.
Yeah, we might.
So, did you think I was going to follow through and hit you guys up to actually go through with it?
She did, but I didn't. Honestly, I was like, if they do, that'll be awesome. But I don't know. People say
I
a
have
lot of
faith in
things.
you.
Thank you. And then as soon as it was so funny because I hit him up and I was waiting on that email response and I'm like, still, please be game, please be game, please be game. And then you did. And the fact that you were like, we are 100%.
I was like, I got questions. How long are the interviews?
Yeah.
Are we just tricking Bert or is everybody? I was like, I need to know everything.
Now, you were a little bit, you hid the arm thing so well. And again, while I'm doing the interview,
Yeah.
I noticed that you're hiding your left arm, but I had no idea why. No idea. So you're shooting with your right, and you're holding the mic underneath your armpit, your left armpit. Then
Sorry
you would
about
shoot.
that, by the way, for making you hold a microphone and play beer
I
pong.
was like, yeah, that took me a second. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I just kind of held it right here. And it was inside my vest, so it was completely hidden. So
And then at some point you exposed it and Mo saw it.
I forgot Mo was not in on the joke. So I took it out and was hiding it from you and just for, was acting casual. I totally forgot Mo was not in on it.
Dude,
so.
his face when he saw the nub, he was just like, what is happening right now? And then I could see it wash over him so we're not gonna ask Post Malone how he lost his hand.
I heard this segment. Yeah, it's like, what? Wait, what? Post Malone lost his hand?
That could be career changing.
Yeah, it could be.
For sure.
Which, by the way, Jimmy, do you want to give the history of how you ended up without a left hand?
Yeah. Some audience members might not know this, but you guys know what a VCR is?
Oh, yeah.
As far as the recording device goes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid, I pretty much I thought if I put my hand in there and press play that it would show up on the screen.
Oh, how old were you?
4.
Okay.
And it pretty much just totally jacked my hand up. They had to amputate it, and yeah, it was.
I did not know the story.
Are you guys pranking me again?
Oh yeah, no, that's made up.
I'm not letting that one go.
I was born without it. I was born without it.
Did you just prank yourself?
Because it's not a question, but I felt because of the bit, because of the prank, now would be a good time to share. And I'm like, I think he was born like that, but I'm not 100% sure. Dude,
Tommy bought it because his mouth was wide open. What?
That's one of my favorite stories because
It's either that or a shark attack.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a very good one.
I've made up a lot of stuff over the years.
Yeah.
Your new one should be you ran into Post Malone in an alley and you lost a fight. Only one of us can be here, brother.
He was pissed about the bit.
Well, you guys did a great job, man. I don't know if I want to thank you, but thank you for your time.
Oh, it was awesome. Like I said, we're big fans of the show. So
Thank you.
We were like, let's just go and meet the cast if it doesn't work out.
That's
But it worked out pretty good.
It worked out really, really
be
good.
honest, when you walked in, over under, how long did you think you were going to be able to pull this off on Bert? What were you giving yourself?
I was right next to him. I was like, he's gonna notice something for sure. But It went the whole 20 minutes.
The
We could have kept talking probably
by the way-
for like an hour.
You're welcome, because I
Yeah.
had to tell Tommy. I popped behind the curtain because I'm like, will you please wrap this up? We're going to be here for like another 20 minutes if you don't wrap this up.
I would have gone on and on and on and on. You did a great job. All right, the video and all the humiliation is up online right now. Oh yeah, the only part that potentially I could have been angry at,
Yeah.
and thank God it didn't happen, is I told my son 2 days before that Post Malone was going to come in, and I said, look, you're only going to have one chance of your life to meet Post Malone. So if you want to come in, I know it's during school hours, come on in. And he had forgotten about it. So when I told him this weekend that it was a prank, had he been there and I was that humiliated in front of my son, that might have been the only thing that would have angered me. Because being humiliated in front of you guys is one thing, but in front of your own kin,
yeah,
not
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
The Bert Show.